So let us know who you guys are, man. Ladies first, right?
Okay, he can go first then. But anyway, okay. Hi, I'm Camille Porter. Technically new member of Breathing Light. I play the bass guitar. Yeah, I'm not big on talking about myself.
Hold on. How long you been playing the bass?
Actually, since like 2011, January, when Kyle asked me did I want to learn to play bass guitar, and I'm like, yeah, I was excited. So, he started teaching me, and from then on up to now.
So Kyle got you the way you get everybody. Kyle is the one man.
Yeah.
How many people have you had in your band, Kyle, since you started? And how many people have you taught to play?
First it was Alex, then B-Win, he was in there. Then it was Jeff, then Stephen, who else? Then it was Willie, then it was Camille, Trey, you, then it was Franklin, that's about it.
Okay, well, let me know, man. Speak to your origins and your foundation as an artist, as a musician, and your craft. Can you let us know?
Like when we got started? Like
just you in general, man. Like, when did you first start playing? What was your first instrument? Let me know that experience.
Drums was my first instrument. It was like, I got like influenced by my neighbor because he had drums in his basement. Shout out to Brandon Willoughby. But yeah, and then like I go over there and play drums, and then we would have like these little drum sessions in elementary school where like everybody could come in and they could do something. And this one particular day when the music teacher came, and we just would like have little drum outs, and then that was before band, and then we got into like elementary band and then other bands in high school and college, and so I kept being in band.
Okay, Camille, as a black woman, it's like you are in the extreme minority as far as being a part of just the punk culture. How does that influence you, man? Knowing that what you're doing is you're a pioneer in a lot of ways. You understand the importance of that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I kind of I didn't really see it coming to the great lengths of me being in a real band. I kind of always thought it as a dream, but to be like young, black, and first of all, a bass guitarist and female in a punk rock band, to me that's a big thing. Like, I feel like I am probably one of the undertakers along with many young blacks and black female rockers out there, and just musicians in general, because like the way punk rock is moving, it's like at a birthing stage, which is real cool, and I feel glad to be a part of that and just to be contributing to what's soon to become probably one of the most memorable moves of our time. So, yeah.
Kyle, man, I remember maybe 2 years ago, man, you told me that in a few years you could see like the high school students moving towards the culture and the way they dress, the talk, just the entire culture. 2 years from that time, man, can you speak to that influence? Is it affecting the youth to the degree you thought it would?
Like right now, even like as we speak, like, and we got to a point where it's like Camille, she like got her people, and when did they graduate?
A lot of my people?
Yeah.
Oh man, a lot of our people graduate. The people that I brought to the show, the show that we had at the orphanage, about I say closer to the end of February, it's about 15 of us. A lot of us graduated in the year 2010. And it kind of like piggyback on what you were saying, Kyle, and to answer your question, Jim. Like, yeah, it's influencing a lot. Like, cause even my 15-year-old sister, her and her friends showed up to the show, and they're like sophomores in high school. And even as I pay attention to the younger generation now, they're more open to a lot. They're more diverse, and like the punk rock scene is something that I see a lot of them opening up to. Spikes, a lot of the black and everything, the boots, and they give it a try. They're daring to be different, and except this time they're not caring about what people say, so it's not really an issue of I can walk into the store looking like this. Am I gonna get talked about? They don't care, and that's the cool part about it.
So speak to that, man. Like, what does it take to get to that point where you just dare to be different and there's no concern that freedom and individuality? How does that
self-esteem and really just knowing who you are? Like, honestly, looking at it like all your life, you're gonna get talked about. You're gonna have the people who, one of three things: they like you, or they don't like you, or they just look at what you do as like, hey, I respect it from a distance. They just gonna tolerate you. So I mean, you're gonna have to do what you're gonna have to do anyway.
Yeah.
So you might as well. It's
Just
self-esteem.
like, don't even pay attention, because it's gonna be like wherever you go, whatever you wear, there's always gonna be somebody that's gonna be like, oh man, you know. I mean, that happened to me like just like the other day when we was at White Castles coming home. Like we was in there and just like I heard a whole bunch of dudes just, can I have my jacket on? Just like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't gonna do shit anyways.
A lot of talk. You know, people either want what you have or they gonna hate what you have. Like, you know, you might as well just be you anyway.
You mentioned your performance at the orphanage earlier, you know, in discussing and the black and brown shows and just the unification of people of color within the culture, man. Can you speak to how that influenced you? Just, I don't know, getting the community involved, the black community, because, you know, we see you guys. Like,
real talk, shouts out to Dante and Monica
right.
all day, like, for that, because, man, like, Kyle, you want to speak on it first, bro?
Yeah. Like that show was so awesome because it I don't even can't even describe like the impact it had. Like, it was felt not only here in Chicago but like all over the U.S. Like, it was that big. Like, all those black kids at one show was like unheard of throughout the whole U.S. Like the lady that's over Maximum Rock and Roll, that's a really big punk scene. I had met her the other day, and she saw the pictures from that show, and she was just like, oh my goodness, like, I never knew, like, you know, black kids would come to a show like this. And then everybody in the whole Chicago scene itself was just like, these people that weren't even there was saying like, we had brought like a whole black contingent of black kids there, and they had never seen that before ever. They didn't even think it was possible to have that.
So where do we go from here? You know, you guys are laying the foundation, man. And then, you know, beyond that question, what is that foundation, man? I remember a while ago you introduced me to a brother, man. What's his name? We went to his house, sat down with him.
Oh, Calvin Chaos.
Calvin Chaos.
Yeah.
And
Shouts out to Calvin and Mindy.
Yes.
What's good?
And just those
man.
early pioneers of the Afro punk scene. You know, it's been established. Can you speak to just those foundations, man, and then speak to the future? Where do you go from here?
Well, like, I'm so happy, like, that they even got to see that, even though he wasn't exactly there. But even like the people were just like, it was him and like Nicole. Shouts out to Nicole. Like, she was there too. I think she got to see that, but it's just like they never thought it would happen. But you know, just like times change and stuff will happen, and like for the future, you know what I'm saying? Like, just keep on, like, don't be
pushing
afraid.
for it, like,
right.
pretty much. Because I mean, like, what ended up happening at the orphanage, and honestly, I didn't even realize how big that it would be. Because the whole time I'm thinking, you know, this is actually my first performance with a band and everything, and like playing bass guitar for the first time in front of people. So I'm just like, you know, this is something I actually want to support is Ed. I really feel great if, you know, people came out. So I know I just invited a lot of my friends, and they're like, yeah, we'll go. And, you know, people hooked up in cars. It was like 4 cars deep, and by the time we got in, we getting looks like, whoa, like, what the fuck is this? You know, and it's real. It was real cool because to me, it was like, man. So first of all, I feel like I had my family there. Like that was my family all day. Like, you know, I grew up with these cats, and then to, like, you know, impact the scene like that was just real big because, you know, not only did we get compliments on how we played, we got compliments on, like, all of us being there, and like I got to see like the biggest smile on this guy's face because being in Alabama, we didn't really get, first of all, even a lot of showtime or nothing like that. Or if we did get recommended for shows, they wanted us to do opening, which was like an insult. So it was like all the time, you know, this guy put into Birth and Breathing Light and all the changes that it went through to see something amazing like that happen, and then not even to mention that the week before and the week of, so much stuff was happening that would have almost made the average person think that, oh, our shit might just have to just end right now. Like, would have just made a person want to give up. So that pulled through that, and then had a reaction and the response we have at the end.
All right, let me ask you guys, community involvement, man, and really touching the community and having the responsibility to progressing and moving not just the people, man, but the community, just society at large, into a more productive light, man, whatever that may be. What is your commitment to that, or your responsibility, or how do you perceive that, man? Just that social awareness and just having some type of allegiance to the culture, man.
Well, I know for one thing, black don't wash off, so I ain't gonna change my color tomorrow. So I mean, I'm always gonna like whatever anybody, I guess, like that's like our color does, it's gonna be a reflection of like our people. So it's like as long as we can like keep on doing our own thing and be seen instead of black people don't like rock music and this and that. But if you stand up, like I remember Calvin saying that one time in the movie, in the Afro-Punk movie, he was saying like we have to stand up and be seen, and the things that we do, we have to project them on a larger scale. So if we can like do things that incorporate elements of the DIY punk rock type of culture into like things that I guess like you see like black people just always, but they always been DIY in a sense, but just the whole like different kind of like thinking that goes over into that type of culture and united in some way. Like I think that would be like dope for like the punk culture as well as the black culture.
Can I like speak to the people? Like people definitely piggybacking off of what my guy just said, pretty much, to everybody, be seen, be heard. This is not the 1930s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. You do not have to be silent about like who you are and things that you feel passionate about. I don't care what it is. You want to be seen, you need to be heard. So speak out. And with that being said, to answer your question, Jim, like, to basically raise social awareness that I'm doing personally is right now I'm building my knowledge and everything. I'm 20 years old, and I mean I know a little bit about a little, but I'll be honest, like I never really have been involved in like big community standings because I never really saw that a lot in my environment and everything. Like I had a little bit of it every now and again. Some people, embedded it in me, my moms and certain teachers and things like that. My dad, they would say you have to have pride in who you are because you're the only person you got. And I was raised to, treat people right. So I guess I'm starting with myself as far as building my knowledge, having more respect for myself, more love for myself, because I realized that the more I do that, the more I'm just willing to share that with people. The more I'm willing to talk and really care for other people and really get involved, because like the older I'm seeming to get and the wiser I get, I'm noticing that more issues are standing important to me, especially for young people, because just like as I'm growing, I'm noticing that this world does not care about me more and more, and that goes for almost anybody. If you really pay attention and you open your eyes. So involvement is real big. You pretty much got to start with yourself and you know your goals and what you want, and then eventually you'll start doing what Kyle started doing, getting people together to really get something started. And I really think we could, reach out to people, and I think we're starting that by like our music just in general, and even just our daily lives talking to people,
Alright, I always, every time I sit down with somebody, I ask, we from Chicago, right? You know what I mean? We see the good, the bad, right? Speak to how you perceive it, man. Where is the city going? Where will we be at in a few years? Are we on the right track? What can we change? Just and speak to the brothers, man, that's out here, lost.
Like, that's a big topic. I say, because to me, I'm looking at the city like it's honestly like parts of the world. We can't really say we're doing horrible, but we can't say we're doing good either. Like, we like for a long time, the world's been in balance. The city, the lives of the kids, of the parents, we're in balance. There's a lot of stuff that's missing. We're not necessarily, like I said, we're not necessarily doing wrong, but we're not necessarily doing all great either.
So what is that? What are we missing? Those elements you just spoke to?
I say a lot of people are letting values die. Like a lot of people are, they're not caring anymore. They're not trying to really talk or really get to know what's going on in their kids' lives. And I mean, a lot of that starts back at the root, back at home, back where family is important. And a lot of people are not caring about what the true definition of family is, and that's that bond and that relationship that no matter what, I'm gonna stick to you through thick and thin because you're my blood and everything. And a lot of people are not looking at people like that, whether that be just a friend or a true family member. And they're just letting things fall to the wayside, getting too consumed in the daily stresses of every day, and that's what's a part of the issue. And a lot of like young people are, pretty much into images. They're into a lot of things that pretty much are out to really just destroy them and consume them. And you can kind of blame them, but then how can you really blame them when a lot of them are really out here just hurting, honestly? Like, that's why they're reaching out for something. That's why they're turning to some of the things they turn to. And some just pick the better things, some pick the worst of the worst. Because people are picking, they're going to what they're used to and going to what they know.
Okay. For the both of you, man, let me ask this. I don't know. 40 years from now, right? You'll be what, 60? Kyle, you'll be what, about 80? But seriously though, man, what do you guys see? Kyle, what do you see yourself, man, about 60, 65? What does that look like, man? If you can see it, you can achieve it. You know that whole R. Kelly quote, man. Speak to your future, man, and where you want to be.
Well, I wanna have like family or something, grandkids, stuff. Like I want that. I want to at least like have, by all the stuff that's happening since like 2008 when it started, and on to just like have laid a foundation to influence people to like do stuff. Like, don't be afraid to think and say things that may be unpopular to some people, but may influence other people down the road in a positive light. So, yeah, that's me.
How about you, Camille?
Man, 40 years from now, pretty much kind of general, like what Kyle was saying, with a family, married, or still married, hopefully, or whatever the case may be. Really not so much I was rich, but well off, prosperous, able to already be stable in my finances and myself, where I'm already giving back to my kids and anybody who's ever come to me, who's ever in need of anything, whether that's wisdom, advice, a place to stay, something to eat, clothes to put on back, whatever the case. Like, being able to be stable enough where I'm able to give and just probably do more, like travel, reach out to those kids who are like, under like extreme oppression, like the little girls and women who are like stuck in human trafficking situations, men and women, also men, too, males, just reach out to a lot of people in a lot of different situations and really kind of do a big part in changing the world.
Changing the world. She spoke to them international, that international obligation, man. Kyle, what? I don't know, man. One of the things that I think hurt just us as a people, man. We get caught up in just thinking America is the end all. It's the total only, it's that American exceptionalism. But what is our obligation, man? What is our role? What responsibility do we have to just our people in general, man? Because when we came over on them boats, some of us got off a little bit earlier. What's our responsibility, man? To those our cousins somewhere, man.
Well, I think people should think about this and like think about it like really, really hard. Like, the things that we do here in this country as far as black people are seen like all over, and not just from one time period, but from like time periods that haven't even come yet. And it's like the things that we did like in the 60s and whatnot, that's influencing not just them, but people in South Africa, because they got stuff going on down there too, like right now. And like other places that have like people, the black people, and other people of color as well, other marginalized people. But, so it's just like we have to like be mindful that the things that are happening to us are also happening to other people as well, and that look just like us. And if we can influence and impact the people here, there's no telling how much that can spread all over the place.
Speaks to the power of the people, man. We got staying power, right?
Right.
How have those scars and the wounds we've endured, man, even looking at just present time, just what we think is the worst, it tests our strength, man. Can you speak to just the strength of the people and our endurance? Like, it's
and you say amazing,
right,
and awesome, and probably something that won't even be described within this 2-5 minutes. Like, when you say the strength of our people to have gone through the pain of seeing your children ripped away from you, everything you know, stolen, everything that was yours. Like, your plain humanity basically just ripped to shreds. And you trying to tell me, like, people who had nothing but their own faith, their own knowledge and wisdom that was left inside their own mind, you can't tell me, like, that black people don't have that survivor gene. Like, we have to, because it's like we've turned away from so much stuff from over 400 years. Like, to just push through a lot of that crap that went on. You know, the white man treating you like you animal, like you're less than dirt, like you're the scum of the earth, and you can't even sit in the same place as him or even be in his presence like he's a god or something. To overcome that and then have to hold your mouth, hold your fist just so your babies can eat, that alone psychologically weighs in. And to push through something like that is amazing. Like, that's why I give so much respect to our people, and yes, other races as well that have and are going through it, because to me every race has gone through it. But, like, you know, man, like, giving the notarization to black people though, like that, like I said, I can't really even describe it. I feel it, and I basically say I pay homage to just show and prove, which is why I wake up every day to I think to myself and just say, be better than what you were the day before, because your people died for you to even make it here. I mean, so that says a lot, and a lot of people disregard that, which is the highest disrespect to our ancestors. You know,
so how do you pay that homage in your music? How does that come through in the punk scene? You know, me, I'm on the outside, you know what I mean? But I'm in and out. But for the outside, the typical outside, it's like, oh, they angry. They just out here, like, what message is that? What are you saying through your music to reflect that mentality?
Yeah, I understand you, because honestly, I was very new to the punk scene. I'm still fairly new and everything. It is like somewhat of a new genre to me, but to me, I still classify it as rock music. Yeah. It's a voice. Some of the music is like straight angry or whatever, but at the same time you still have the music out there that speaks just about everyday life. If you listen to like a lot of the stuff Cal's created, he's not just talking about just revolutionizing. He's talking about, you know, just like something that how you feeling, something more like a spiritual aspect and everything. And like pretty much the music speaks more to you probably sometimes than the lyrics will. So if you're listening to the music, like for example, one of my favorite songs that's actually gotten me through some crazy times is We Are the Figurines, and it's a lot more instrumentation in that song than anything. And just to like let the music kind of take you to a better place is the overall point of it and everything. And like the cool thing about punk is it's like when you're at a show, like the people are cool. Like in most cases the people are cool and like, yeah, they're riled up, but they're not riled up in an aggressive way of fighting each other. It's just releasing stress. Like when people are moshing, you'll think like, oh, people just getting knocked down. But if you're at certain punk shows and you're moshing and everything, you fall down, they gonna pick you up, you know. You just kind of like, you just releasing, you know, you jumping around, you relieving stress and everything. And it's like, oh, snap, I just like let off like a lot of energy. So that's like just a rare form of, you know, your energy and everything. You know?
I was speaking to a woman and she spoke to the energy of the youth and how a lot of times it can be displaced. But you just mentioned a great point. I was gonna segue into it, but you did it for me. But just the spiritual aspect of anything, you know, how does it resonate and kind of show its face in whatever we do. I want both of you all to speak to, you know, how spirituality influenced you in your art form and just your everyday life.
Well, it's like, I feel like there's a lot of energy everywhere. And, you know, it's like, I guess like energy can never really be destroyed. And so, you know, it's like when you put energy out, you know, it'll come back. And it's just like, it just keeps on going. And it's like, there's a lot of positive energy that at least is in the music, and a lot of things that a lot of subject matter that isn't really, I don't feel like has been touched on, like feelings associated with like death and life and different emotions like, you know, depression, sadness, anger, but not in like a fighting way, but in a like, I guess a misplaced way, but it's there. It's like when it happens, it's like you can feel it. It's like, especially if when we're playing, it's like sometimes like if there's a particular song, it's like I feel the energy from the people, and I feel the energy like coming like to me and like from my bandmates. So
okay, like to me, like the spiritual aspect, it's like one thing I've noticed is like I say the mindsets like themselves in general, like the spirit of acceptance is like coming into like from my experience when we perform, I noticed that a lot of times in the areas like, you know, people are not judged just because of what they wear. They're not judged by really anything. It's like, oh hey, you look like this, whatever, cool. I mean, almost coming to place naked and still performing. It's like, hey, just do your thing. I heard that. Right. And so I think like with the spiritual aspect of it, it's like a lot of different like pretty much like the energy itself comes into place, and things are like not so much hostile, but more of, yo, we want freedom, we're trying to fight for this, bound with me, and let's make some things happen. And you know, sometimes like even just sometimes spirit of fun and everything, like because in a lot of it seems like to me like, you know, a lot of some performances and some people look at music as like always a serious thing. It don't have to always be so serious, you know. It can be something you enjoy. You can laugh, smile, and forget the lyrics and scream, you know, and as long as you enjoy it. So yeah, like pretty much that's my take on it.
Alright, man, let us know what Breathing Light is moving towards as a band, and where can we find information and hear more of your music and your art form.
Well, I think like we want to play shows. We want to go around, we want to connect with more people, we want to connect with more black kids, we want to like, just make it possible that, you know, or at least show people that they don't have to like put on the front, you know, if we could like just, you know, take that message in a ball, but as long as we could like make it explode to everywhere and just be like, send this whole message out, like, be yourself, you know, just do whatever you do. And, you know, to do that, it's like, it's cool. I mean, we're on Facebook. You can just catch us at, like, Facebook/The Breathing Light.
And well, if you ask us our names, we can definitely tell you. Just kind of send a message and let us know, like, you just want to check out the music or something. Can't be having no pedophiles on my page, man. But, like, yeah, just definitely, like, I mean, we're accessible, like...
Tumblr. Breathinglight.tumblr.com.
Yeah, you know, like, I mean, whichever. And then, I mean, we have...
There's
some demos
music,
and stuff.
Last.fm, you can download music.
Last.fm, yep. Yeah.
Alright, y'all, man. Well, I enjoy speaking with you all and getting that understanding, man, of the punk scene, man, the Afro punk, man. It's a good movement, man. And Kyle, man, I commend you on the work you've been putting in, man. And I remember when I first met this guy. I don't know, he was in one of them dorm rooms, man. He was the kid with the dreadlocks. Some years ago, man.
All the people in A&M.
Yeah, true, but no, he was one of the original ones, man. He wasn't the Lil Wayne dreadhead, you know. He was right, you know. But yeah, man, and just to see your growth, man, and where you've come from, it's a good thing, man. I commend you and I encourage you to keep moving forward, bro.
Thank you, man.
And Camille, it's great meeting you, man. You are powerful and you're poised. So that's great and she's 20 years old, man. Y'all heard what she just put on the table, man. So that's good, man. So you stay on your path and stay strong, yo. And don't let nothing, nobody
I've been fighting
turn
it this long,
me around. But again, man, I appreciate it, y'all, man. And again, ladies and gentlemen, that was The Breathing Light.
All right, peace.